Shower drain's a little logy this morning.
There's far too much hair in this house.
What you doing, Noodle?
Life skills.
Still life?
No, life skills.
It's what they used to call home ec.
I'm making dinner tonight, and I need documentation for my report.
Well, dinner's a big job. Do you need some help?
I'm supposed to do it all by myself, except for things that might scald or otherwise disfigure.
What are we having, Lauren?
Spaghetti and meatballs with green salad and chilled milk.
That sounds great.
And it's only pennies a serving.
Book bag and coat. You're gonna spot her at the edge of the mat on this one, right?
I'll see that no broken glass gets in the sauce. Otherwise, it's her show.
Excellent.
Bye, Grandma.
Bye, Grandma.
Bye, darling.
Let's go, Mom.
Has Rebecca ever cooked for you?
We had some experiments with waffles, but there was a problem with the structural integrity.
Lauren's cooking dinner tonight. It's part of her life skills class. Shouldn't I be teaching her those things?
In your copious free time?
Well, it's knowledge that comes from the family, passed down through the generations. The only recipe I've ever given Lauren is how to push the popcorn button on the microwave.
I had an uncle who taught me to make the perfect martini. I was 10 at the time. My parents weren't amused.
Judge Gray. Yeah, you're Judge Gray. Could have picked you out of the multitude.
How nice.
ASA, Jonathan Ashworth. I was the legal muscle for your mother at Sanctuary House.
Oh, you're that guy.
Big fan of your mom's. Heard a lot about you. I believe the good things. I discounted the rest. I look forward to seeing you in action.
This is my CSO.
Mr. Van Exel. Your reputation precedes you.
That's what I've heard.
I'm glad we're all going to be in the courtroom together. I can almost smell the chemistry.
And that's happening today?
Disposition on the plunk of the song.
Well, I'll let you get back to your AM ritual. And I look forward to assisting you in the meeting out of swift and proper justice. Judge Gray, Mr. Van Exel.
Mr. Ashworth?
That guy knows your mother?
I believe she referred to him as the rolling zealot.
We don't get many walk-ins, so welcome to DCF. I'm Maxine Gray. Please, make yourself comfortable. Coffee?
No.
Coffee. Is that with a C or a K?
You don't have to start a file. I just want the names of food banks.
Well, these notes are just for me. It helps with a memory.
C.
And you have 3 children?
Yeah. Anthony, Claire, and Daniel. Look, if this is going to turn into some big bureaucratic thing, then I will just go and ask at some churches. I don't want you filling out any forms.
Well, it's not a form. It's a yellow pad and ballpoint pen. The children's father?
Dead.
I'm sorry. How long ago did that happen?
That was before we got to Hartford. This is a bad idea. I'm just going to ask around.
No, just, wait a second. This is the list of community food banks. I'll circle the ones that are closest to you. Where do you live?
That's okay. I can find them. Thank you.
Is everything okay?
It's fine. Hello, my name is Maxine Gray.
Anthony Cossey.
That's a pleasure, Anthony. And you are Claire, which makes you Daniel.
They're shy. Come on, kids.
Yeah, come on.
Please take my card. If you need help with something, you can call me.
Sure. Okay.
And if I had your telephone number, then I could call you in a day or two and see if you found what you needed.
That's okay. You shouldn't bother.
We don't have a telephone.
No telephone? If you need help with the phone or utilities...
We're fine. We're set. Don't worry about us. Come on, Anthony.
Come on, let's go.
Are you sure you don't want your lawyer in here for this?
I don't want to waste his valuable time.
Your probation officer doesn't seem to be impressed with your progress, Miss Sebastian.
That woman has a personal agenda against me.
You're not working at the moment.
Free fall economy, haven't you heard?
Don't seem to have a current address on you.
I'm staying with someone. Just for the moment.
Miss Basti.
Irma.
Miss Basti. Under the circumstances, I think it's very unlikely Judge Gray is going to revoke her custody order and let you have Rodney back.
She has to.
She doesn't have to do anything.
You know how this works. I'm on the radar. And the state is crawling up my ass. They don't like me. And they will be waiting for this baby. They'll grab it. Like we were in Germany or something. But if I can get custody back on Rodney, it won't be so easy. You have to explain that to the judge. Ask her what she'd think. Someone was watching her every second.
I think Judge Gray has a fair grasp of the situation. But you have to understand these reports. They're not in your favor.
I'll explain. I'll explain everything.
I hope you can. You'll have a chance in court.
Oh. This is for you and the judge. Let you know I appreciate your being fair.
I can't accept that, Miss Basti.
Sure you can. It's a box of candy. Chocolate-covered cherries.
I can't accept a gift. And neither can Judge Gray.
It's a box of candy, okay?
It's against the rules.
Right. Right.
Theodore Plunkett has pled guilty to assault charges for the beating of Carl Monroe. We're here to determine how best to resolve this matter. What would the state of Connecticut like me to know, Mr. Ashworth?
Judge Gray, Theodore Plunkett waylaid Carl Monroe behind a strip mall where he severely beat Mr. Monroe with a 3-foot length of rebar. This was an unprovoked and vicious attack, the severity of which demands correspondingly severe punishment. Thank you.
Ms. Metzen.
Your Honor, Mr. Ashworth has offered the schematic of the event, but he has drained it of all context. There was indeed a confrontation between Mr. Plunkett and Mr. Monroe, but that confrontation was precipitated by a young girl's desperate plea for help. Miss Lynn Dickinson, a classmate of Mr. Plunkett's, approached him for protection from her abusive ex-boyfriend, Carl Monroe. While my client has admitted to the facts, before passing sentence, we feel it's vital that Your Honor understand the motivations and the mitigating factors that led Mr. Plunkett to put himself in harm's way to selflessly protect another.
Very well, Miss Matson. I will hear testimony, but it had better be pretty compelling.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Mrs. Gray?
Sergeant Hefner.
That's right. Thanks for getting here so quickly.
I'm not really clear what's happened. Mrs. Cossey's in the hospital?
Yes, her car was broadsided going through an intersection. She's all right, but she was unconscious at the scene.
Was she alone in the car?
Yes. The car was unregistered. We found an expired New York license in her wallet. Also a public works envelope with an address on this block and one of your cards. Now, we sent a card to the address on the envelope.
My partner and I were going up the driveway.
Which house is it?
Right across here. And we were almost at the door when somebody called out from the house, the boy telling us to stop. I identified myself and I explained about the accident. And this voice, this kid, yells out, "Get the guns."
Get the guns?
Yes, ma'am. So we pulled back, moved the unit, and we called for backup.
Now, we tried to call, but the phone company says that there are no lines going into that house.
And you can see the hole in the front where the mailbox was pulled out and the generator's making their own juice. That family is off the grid.
To the best of your knowledge, are there any weapons in that house?
I have no way of knowing.
All right, we think there are 3 children.
That's right. Sergeant Hefner, is it your intention to attack that house?
Well, it's my intention to secure the area and then resolve the situation with the minimum force necessary.
We're talking about the 3 probably very frightened children.
One of which may be armed. I'm going to do what I feel is appropriate.
What did Miss Dickinson tell you?
Lynn told me that Carl was mean to her, that sometimes he even hit her. We were back where the bleachers fold up against the gym wall, and she was very upset. She actually put her head on my shoulder when she cried.
And what did you do after you talked to Lynn?
Well, Carl worked at this video store, and I went there when he was getting off work, and I told him to leave Lynn alone. And he said, "Or what?" I didn't know or what because that's kind of as far as I'd gotten with it in my head. But we were next to this broken section of the wall, and there was a piece of rebar lying there, and I just grabbed it and started swinging at him. I stopped as soon as I saw what I'd done to his arm. I'd never meant to hurt him, but he shouldn't get away with hurting Lynn.
Thank you.
Mr. Ashworth.
Ted, is Lynn Dickinson a friend of yours?
No, not really.
But you talked to her, and she's comfortable confiding in you.
Well, we've only talked a couple of times. One time she was in the Fantastics, and I was running lights, and I told her that she was good. She really was.
Ever ask her out on a date?
There wouldn't be much of a point to that.
Why do you say that?
Oh, look at her.
Would you like to go out with her?
Who wouldn't?
Your Honor, I'm wondering where we're going.
So am I. Mr. Ashworth, take up the slack.
You'd like to go out with Lynn Dickinson, but she's way higher on the dating scale. You'd like to be her friend, but you've barely made eye contact with her, and yet she picked you to be her champion. Explain that to me.
I don't know. I figured she was desperate.
Level with me, Ted. You were the desperate one, and you thought sandbagging Carl Monroe would get her attention.
Your Honor, something with a question mark at the end, Mr. Ashworth.
Lynn Dickinson never came to you in the twilight of the folded bleachers to ask for protection. It was your idea to pick a fight with Carl Monroe to make yourself somebody she'd have to notice. That's what happened, isn't it, Ted?
Mr. Ashworth.
There was a question mark on that last bit.
I did it because Lynn was in trouble and she asked me to. I don't know why, but she did. I did not make up that part in the bleachers. It was like a scene straight out of a movie, but it really happened. And I will remember that part until the day that I die.
Anything else, Mr. Ashworth?
I'm happy.
You may step down, Mr. Plunkett.
Better stop. We have a lady approaching the front of the house. Hold your fire.
Anthony, it's Mrs. Gray. We met this morning when I spoke with your mother. Are Claire and Daniel with you?
You should go.
Would it be all right if I just came up as far as the porch?
No, go away.
Your mother's had an accident, Anthony. She's all right, but I'm sure she's going to want to see you.
Stay away. Don't come any closer. I mean it.
I know you must be feeling a little frightened, but I can help you. Shoots anybody!
Hold your fire. Repeat. Hold your fire.
Anthony, is Claire all right?
But she's scared.
I know the feeling.
I'm sorry, but I told you to stop.
It's all right. I understand. You're in charge.
Yeah, I'm in charge.
And because you are the one in charge, you and I have to talk. You understand that, don't you?
Okay.
Robert.
I'm doing a lot better. I go to these meetings with a counselor every week or so. That's good, that's helping. I feel pretty good. I saw a doctor, everything's okay with the baby.
So you feel ready and able to take care of Rodney?
I sure do. I sure do. I love him. And I want him back home so I can have a family.
Thank you.
Mr. Benton.
Ready to have a family. That family would consist of what, Miss Basting?
Me and my kids.
Where's Rodney's father?
I lost touch with him.
You're pregnant now. Where's the father of this child?
We're not in communication right now.
Do you have a job?
I have prospects.
So you're not employed?
No.
Where do you reside?
I'm staying with some friends.
Do you contribute to the household expenses?
Well, I just told you I don't have a job right now.
The court ordered Rodney under its protection almost 2 years ago. At that time, you were unmarried, unemployed, without fixed abode, and had been charged with prostitution and possession of an illegal substance.
They dropped the prostitution.
What's different now?
What's different?
What about your situation today is an improvement over 2 years ago? Why would Rodney be any better off with you now than he was then? What's different?
What's different is somehow this went from being a run of bad luck to my fault, as far as you people are concerned. I am trying. I'm trying as hard as I can. I keep jumping through hoops because you've got my kid. He's my kid. He's not your kid. Things will be okay. If you just give him back.
I have no further questions, Your Honor.
You may step down, Miss Basting.
Hello.
Hello, Claire.
Want to come in?
Yes, thank you.
Hello, Anthony.
Look, I'm sorry about shooting at you.
I accept your apology.
Yeah, I shot wide on purpose.
I appreciate that. Would you like me to take you to the hospital so you can see your mother?
Yes.
We can't leave.
I saw the generator on the porch. Is there something wrong with the electricity?
We make our own. That way they can't use the house wiring to follow you and listen.
I didn't know they could do that.
Throw it, Danny.
Is it all right if I sit down?
Yes.
Did you figure that out for yourself about the wiring?
My mom told me. My dad told her before he died.
I'm sorry about your father.
I want to see Mom.
You can't. Okay, Mom's gone. Once they've got you, they've got you.
Claire, your mother is going to be all right.
Don't lie to her.
I'm not lying. Why would you think that I would lie?
You're from the government.
How long have you and your brother and sister been living like this?
Dad died when I was 10.
And it's been just you four since then. That can't be easy.
I try to help as much as I can, but I mean, these two, they're babies. You know, they don't understand how they're out to get us.
Who's out to get you?
The World Monetary Fund and Trilateral Commission.
Look at her, she's just a kid. She doesn't know it's not that simple.
She knows more than I do. Until I met your mother, I had no idea what was really going on. I'm just sorry that she didn't have time to tell me more.
Anthony, Danny kicked his shoes off again, and I'm not gonna tie him anymore.
Oh, Claire, I'll help you. Danny, come to my shoe store. No waiting at my shoe store. There you go. We just have to measure your oh, good. Oh, good, they're the same size.
Miss Basting, I think you believe simply returning Rodney to you will somehow fix things. It won't. It's not Rodney's job to repair your life. That's your job. I'm sorry, but the court finds nothing in either reports or testimony that would lead me to reconsider the custody order for Rodney Basting. Therefore, I am denying the petition for revocation. Miss Basting, I strongly urge you to take this opportunity to look closely at your current situation. Personal choice and individual autonomy are highly valued by this court, but part of my job is to protect the innocent and the powerless when they find themselves in the path of the reckless choice of others. I have the authority to do so, and I have never been reluctant to use it. So we're finished here.
10-minute recess.
Are you threatening me?
This court is in recess. Do not address the judge.
No, Miss Basting, I'm not threatening you. I'm sorry if that's all you've heard. More sorry than you can imagine.
Do you know the defendant?
From school, in the halls. I don't think we have any of the same classes.
Did you have a conversation with him in the gymnasium on the afternoon Carl Monroe was attacked?
We talked. Just for a few minutes, that's all.
During those minutes, did you cry?
No, sir.
Did you put your head on the defendant's shoulder so he could comfort you?
No, sir. I never did that.
Lynn, tell them.
Quiet, Mr. Plunkett.
During the conversation, did you confide in the defendant that Carl Monroe is abusive toward you?
Absolutely not. We talked about the senior musical, that's all.
So you didn't solicit his aid in defending you, is that correct?
I really don't know where he got that from. I was just being polite. I had no idea he was going to misinterpret it that way.
She's still afraid of him. That's got to be it.
Last warning, Mr. Plunkett. You may continue, Mr. Ashworth.
That wraps it up for me.
Any questions, Miss Matson?
No, Your Honor.
Well, thank you, Lynn.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Did you mention Carl Monroe at all when you were speaking with Mr. Plunkett?
No, ma'am. Just the senior musical.
What's it gonna be?
Music Man.
You gonna play Marion?
I hope so.
You like performing?
Yes, I do.
Well, good luck.
Thank you.
I'd like to see counsel in my chambers.
15-minute recess.
Everybody thought Y2K was this big nothing. That they were all fooled except my mom. She knew it was all planned to speed the move from republic to industrial feudalism.
Your mother put that together.
That's why they're after us. When I saw the UN police coming up the walk, I knew they got her and they were coming for us.
Anthony, your mother has been in an automobile accident. The police helped her to the hospital.
I'm hungry.
Eat some more cookies.
If Mom was here, she'd make us something.
Well, she's not.
They're going to need more than cookies pretty soon.
I know, but cookies is all I got.
Anthony, not everyone sees the world the way your mother does.
That's the strength of the conspiracy. How people refuse to believe.
Do you believe it, Anthony?
Fine. You have to share.
Cut it out.
Megan, stop!
Give it here. Give it here.
I should answer that. It could be the police. If I don't answer it, then we might not be able to finish our talk.
Okay.
Hello? Hello, Sergeant Hefner. No, we're getting along just fine.
Is it just me, or does this strike anyone else as more than a little bit screwy?
Can Your Honor define screwy?
In the courtroom, all you two can see is me. Well, I'm privileged. I can see what's going on behind you. And when I look at this defendant, this victim, and this witness, I can't get it to fit into any story we've heard so far. I think there's a factor here we need to discuss.
What factor?
The pretty girl factor. In high school, pretty is power. And sometimes a pretty girl, a certain kind of pretty girl, needs to test the limits of her power. And one way she does this is by seeing what she can get others to do. Do either of you have anything additional to introduce?
No.
No.
Your Honor.
No, Judge.
Okay. Well, I'm essentially ready to sentence, but I'm going to hold off. Since we have all the principals under one roof, I think this would be an excellent opportunity for certain conversations to take place.
And these conversations would involve who?
They would involve certain combinations of the interested parties.
Would these conversations have any impact on the resolution of my client's case?
No, they would not. We'll reconvene in an hour. And Miss Matson, since I have the ropes off,
You were afraid to ask a question to which you didn't already know the answer. Normally, that's good lawyering. But I might have thrown the dice. If Lynn Dickinson hadn't talked to Ted Plunkett about her boyfriend, how did Ted know when the boyfriend was getting off work? What?
What kind of pretty girl were you?
Oh, I wasn't one of them. But I know the species. Besides, Denise Reynolds got the lead in my senior musical. I hated her.
Good.
It's right there, like they don't even care you see it. 13 bricks in the pyramid, 13 arrows in the eagle's claw, 13 stars. Just count them, see for yourself.
But if it's a secret, why would they put all that on the dollars?
I don't know, my mom explained it to me, but I forgot some of it. It's everything is connected. All the bad things are connected.
Why do you think it's connected?
Because they have to be.
I know it feels like that sometimes. And I'm not saying there aren't bad things in the world and bad people. There are plenty of both, but I just don't, I don't think it's all that organized. And that makes it worse, because there's all this badness and no one really in charge of it.
Will you take me to my mom?
I would like to take all of you.
We can't just go, Claire. You know what'll happen if we go.
But I want to see Mom! Want to come, Danny? Wake up, Danny.
No. I forgot to put gas on the generator. It's my job and I forgot.
What happens when it gets dark?
I don't know. But if I go out there, they're gonna get us. Oh, so stupid. I forgot the gas.
Claire, get your brother. We're leaving now.
I'm hungry.
No.
Anthony, you're a very good shot. I would hate to think about you hurting someone accidentally.
No, you have to understand that if we go, it's like saying I don't believe her. All my mom has is what she believes. That's all she's got left.
I do understand that, Anthony. But I think you understand that she could have more. And I think you want to help her. And you can't help her from here. Not from this house.
Will you explain it to her? Will you tell her how it was?
I will tell her you are not only brave, but wise.
I want to see my mom.
Let's all go. All in a row. Wait. Just a minute. To be safe. Just be quiet. Here we go. Clear you first. And get Daniel. Slowly. Anthony, show your hands. Okay, go ahead, go. Nice and slow. Steady and slow.
Fire, they're coming out.
Claire, let me get in front. Just a minute. Okay. Now we're okay. That's all right, sweetheart.
Glad you could join us, Mr. Ashworth.
My apologies, Your Honor. I was dealing with a time-sensitive matter.
All right. Well, Mr. Plunkett has admitted to the assault on Carl Monroe, but he would like the court to consider that he was motivated by a desire to protect someone who had come to him for help. That person has refuted Mr. Plunkett's version of the events. But it does not matter if Theodore Plunkett did this to rescue Lynn Dickinson or merely impress her. He showed poor judgment in confronting Carl Monroe, and in the ensuing fight inflicted considerable harm. I am therefore committing Theodore Plunkett to DCF for 6 months with a recommendation that he be placed in a locked juvenile facility. However, I will suspend that sentence under the condition that Mr. Plunkett enters counseling and performs 50 hours of community service in a manner to be determined.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Mr. Plunkett, I want you to understand that these alternative sanctions are not a reward for your actions, but a recognition of the citizen you were on your way to becoming before this incident.
Yes, Your Honor.
Good. We're done, and we're done. Bruce, you don't drink coffee?
What?
You don't drink coffee?
Are you Lynn Dickinson? We have a warrant for your arrest. You're under arrest.
Arrest?
Right to remain silent. Yes, ma'am. You have the right to remain silent. You have the right to remain silent.
She's being charged with conspiracy to commit assault. I had a little talk with the boyfriend. Carl's basically a good kid, but something was weighing on his mind. He responded to my natural warmth and opened up. They set the nerd up.
The victim and the girl?
Why?
Carl was anxious for me to understand it was Lynn's idea. She wanted to see if she could convince Plunkett that she needed help. Sort of an acting exercise. So when the poor slob came to the video store, Carl was going to rough him up a little. Ted got lucky. The joke got away from him.
Well, you work fast.
Swift as Mercury when I'm inspired. That pretty girl voodoo? It's high octane.
Yeah, it should be used only for good and not evil.
It's a privilege and an honor, Judge Gray.
What are you doing here?
I brought your children.
Where are they? Let me see them. Anthony?
They're down the hall. You'll see them in a moment.
Oh, I knew I never should have talked to you. This is what I get for being so stupid.
I spent most of today with your children. Anthony's a very brave young man. I think he would sacrifice anything for you. It's clear to me that all of your children love you very much. It's also clear that you are doing them considerable damage.
Damage? How? By telling them the truth about this world?
I don't know how you came to your beliefs, Mrs. Gossie, but I do know what you are doing to your children borders on neglect.
You want to take away my kids.
And that would be a powerful confirmation, wouldn't it? Proof that the web of conspiracy is real. I know firsthand how frustrating and hurtful the government can be. It can be as destructive as a boulder crashing down a mountain. But no one accuses the boulder of conspiracy.
That depends on who pushed the boulder.
Anthony and Claire and Daniel will be taken care of while you recover. I'll see to that. The expired license and the unregistered car don't concern me. But keeping your children out of school, the presence of firearms in the home, is very much my business. So, congratulations. Mrs. Gossie, you've gotten your wish. I don't know about before, but from here on out, the government will be watching you. Because I will be watching you. I'll bring your children to you now.
Let's get some coffee. And by coffee, I don't mean that primordial sludge in the break room,
but something lovingly brewed and steamed by arrogant experts wearing baseball caps.
You seem awfully cheerful for this time of day.
Well, I was fair, and in the process uncovered an additional crime. I think it's very clever of me. Where's that box of gold stars? Oh. Judge Gray.
You hear that, Judge Gray? You know what that is? That's the New Jersey Turnpike.
Who is this?
Typical. It's Irma Basting, remember?
Miss Basting?
I just spent 65 cents for the privilege of telling you to go screw yourself. You might have one of my kids, but you're not getting another because I'm gone. And I don't have to take any more crap from you telling me what kind of person I should be. Who are you? You're nobody. You're nothing. So get bent, Judge Gray. Get bent and die.
Miss Basting!
What is it?
She left the jurisdiction.
If it's any consolation, I've been banished from the kitchen as well.
I tried to call you on your cell phone, did I?
I had some trouble with the battery. You've been very quiet since you got home.
Have I?
I know because I've been quiet too, and when you subtract both of our voices from the house, the silence becomes substantial.
I had sort of a left-footed day today. I got from one side of the room to the other, but I tripped on the carpet halfway there. It was not a graceful crossing.
I know the feeling. But the room was crossed. That's what counts.
I hope so.
Here we go.
Wow. Lauren, that is just spectacular.
It looks delicious, Lauren.
Take a picture, Cousin Kyle.
Smile.
Lauren, how did you get the idea to arrange the meatballs like that?
I saw it on TV in black and white. These three silly men were making dinner for somebody.
Three silly men?
The Three Stooges. She learned her table presentation from the Three Stooges.
Well, better Mo than Martha Stewart.
Lauren, you did a wonderful job racking up dinner.
Making meatballs is tougher than it looks. And I have to tell you, it doesn't look anything like the picture in the book.
Don't worry, Lauren. I've discovered that nothing ever comes out like the picture in the book.
Shall I break?
Please.
And don't forget to fill out your comment cards.
Coming up next on TNT's Prime Time in the Daytime, Briscoe and Logan find a connection between two unrelated murders. Don't miss the drama of Law and Order.